Hello, David. How's
Hello,
everything?
Alvaro. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty fine. Thanks for asking. Congrats on Black Widow and being part of the MCU.
Thanks, man.
It looks like some of your characters are getting used to being Russian prison cells, right?
yeah. Yeah, that was a coincidence. I've been paying for. I've been internet paying for a year.
I saw the movie, loved it, and loved your character.
Oh,
How
great.
do you take the wheel on a character like this? Because it's kind of a weird thing that is like the Russian version of Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, there are those elements of him. Certainly, I mean, he is compared to him. He wears the suit, the whole thing. But he's, certainly tremendously different in the sense that he's at the end of his career, even past his career, past his prime. And so we started with a lot of, him being like wildly out of shape and resentful and having all this guilt and remorse and even the comparisons that he talks about Captain America in this way that Captain America doesn't even really register him in the same way. I mean, he's such an interesting guy in that way. And he doesn't always make the noble choices. I mean, right from the beginning of the movie, you sort of see that he's not always going to make the right choice in this movie. And so there are those comparisons politically and on the surface, and then underneath you see that he's a very different guy.
Still fits. Family. Back together again.
You got fat.
In the movie, you're like a father figure for Natasha and Yelena, but in real life, you're now like a stepdad for two girls, right?
Yeah.
Did that help with your character, or did the character help you with that?
um that's a good question. I was not a stepdad when we shot the movie, which feels like
Oh,
10,000 years ago. But I was I don't know if that helped my character in the movie or if that helped me be willing to become a stepdad, to be honest. Like
maybe, yeah.
the movie, there is a kismet to both. Like the movie finds you and it changes you as you work on it as well. And but there was times in the movie where uh Lily and I worked together at the time, and I would ask her about certain things. There was even a really special moment where she herself is a writer, a very good writer, and I was talking about I in the movie I wanted to come up with a different line for this one particular scene, and I it was about having daughters, and I we talked about it, and it was very helpful. So yeah, and then as I made the movie, I started to think like just these beautiful, and it's been since Stranger Things too, that there's been these beautiful relationships with like daughters that it just sort of, I guess it sort of made me ready more than me using it for the film.
You know, something that I love about your portrayal of the Red Guardian is that he's a very lovable and fun character to watch. But the humor feels very natural, very real. How do you created that kind of humor for the character?
That's a good question. I'm kind of a silly person, and I don't take myself that seriously. I can take what I do very seriously, but in terms of myself, and so the part allowed me to put a lot of that into it. I mean, a lot of the work I've done has been dramatic, or in certain ways, I'm intense, and Red Guardian sort of afforded me this silliness. And the other thing was working off of those three other women that are my co-stars, or really the leads of the movie. They sort of, the relationship that we had was so fun that I think we had to put more and more of that into the movie because it was just the natural dynamic. I mean, Scarlett, Florence, Rachel, and I, when we get together, and when we get together like for that dinner scene.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Natasha, don't slouch.
I'm not slouching.
You're going to get a back hunch.
Listen to your mother.
Oh my God, this.
Up, up.
All
Listen.
right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
I mean, it just became very silly and fun. There was a ton of improv. And we just had a real chemistry with each other that I think they wanted to bring to the screen. So it really was, it's sort of my personality is to be this sort of silly person. And so I think that they just allowed me to do that in the movie.
Okay, David, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.